What word would you use?
As we lost 2 points. Simple. That's it.
Okay.
It did feel like a strange game, though. Like, NYCFC had a good first 12 minutes, 12, 15 minutes. The goal just completely deflated them. And you guys took control, but you couldn't put the team away. Is that frustrating for the players and for the staff to know that a 2-0 scoreline ends this game?
Yes, it is very frustrating. Very frustrating because I felt the same. That after the first, the first wave, the first 5-10 minutes, we were better. We were connecting our passes. We were good in possession. We were disrupting their pressure, their high pressure. We were getting in behind. What frustrates me is that we have the chances or have chances to put the game away, to just score the second one. There are a couple chances in the first half, especially, where we can pick the right pass, the right movement, and we can get the second one. And then we just control the game again, and maybe we go for the third one. But something happens that we score the goal, and then we want to do a little extra touch, extra dribbling, extra passing, extra whatever, and we are not clinical. And that cost us tonight, because in those moments where we are dominating the game, we have to make sure that we score the goals. So that's why I'm frustrated, because the last 20, 25 minutes, I felt that, once Santi went down, we lost control of the game. We lost control of the tempo. When Santi was on the field, I felt that we were in control of everything. Then that happens, they adjust to, credit for them, and then they scored the goal in the last minute, which is very frustrating for us.
I wanted to ask you about Santi. Just what was the issue that he was having that caused him to be removed from the game?
So he had a knock, I think, in one of the corners, and then he told me that he was struggling at running. So then I had to make a decision.
Did you think at one point you could protect the 1-0 lead? When Ibarra came on, they made changes too, and it was clear that they brought on players to attack. They had to, but did you feel like maybe there was enough to just kind of get on with the game and end this at 1-0?
Yeah, I felt that even when I brought Ibarra, it was just man for man. It was just Santi for Ibarra. The shape didn't change, and I still wanted to attack. I still wanted Luis and Marce having chances in the transition. And I think at some point we were not creating enough chances in transition with those two. So I felt, the necessity of an extra midfielder, because their adjustment released a lot of space for them in the middle of the park. So it was too hard for Ibarra and Amar, Ibarra and Rosero to shift over properly, because there were big gaps in the midfield. So I did the adjustment to bring Amar to play almost 5-3-1-1. And I felt that we were solid defensively. I mean, we didn't give up any clear chance or something. It was just more wide free kicks, corners, but not clear chances. And then the goal in the set piece obviously happened.
Gonzalo, you talked about the team just not being clinical. Obviously, it's frustrating for you. You can hear it. Can it be a learning lesson for this team with crucial games coming up, and especially if you look towards the playoffs, about having kind of that killer instinct?
Yeah, it has to be a learning moment. We're talking at halftime that the best way to defend the lead was scoring the second goal, and I don't know, for some reason, we were not clinical in those moments. So I will need to reflect again in how do we train, in how do we prepare the team, making sure again they are sharp in the final third, they have the vision to pick the right pass, and sometimes it's playing the simple pass. The simpler pass, the pass that is more natural, the pass that everyone in the stadium is expecting, and then the movement that everyone in the stadium is expecting. And sometimes it seems to be like we are trying to do something different.
Clearly, there's a concern here with not getting the 3 points, because now this game at Red Bull Arena just is that much bigger. It's a difficult place to play. They are a team that's trending up as well. And it's probably going to be a very different game from what happened here. NYCFC wanted to keep the ball. What do you think you need to fix in a week from now? If it's still about being sharper and more clinical and perhaps playing simpler? Is this just sort of a message to the team that refining some details is all it takes?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously we saw the result of Inter Miami. They're going to be motivated 3-0. And they're a team that had nothing to lose and they have something to prove for themselves, for next year. For each player, they want to prove the value sometimes, and they will be relieved a little bit sometimes. That happens. So it's going to be a super difficult game against Inter Miami. And yes, I think pretty much the build-up, the possession, the movements, the disrupting the midfield pressure is getting better and better. We are very good on that. It's just the final third entrance is the one that we are lacking a little bit, and it's about, again, creating the right patterns, the right areas, attack the right zones in the field, in that part of the field, being in the right positions in that part of the field. And I feel that's where we need to work on the next week.
My mistake. Next game is Inter Miami. You're at home. And those games, as you know, are very tough. What did you like about this team tonight, about your squad? What do you take away and build off of?
Well, I like the composure at some moments. The first 10 minutes, as you said, were not the best, were not easy, basically because the opposition did a very good job at pressing and being tight and taking some risk also in their pressure, and they were successful in that regard. But credit to my players, they saw the solutions. They start to create different type of movements, especially on the right side where we were very dangerous, I feel. So that build up, that disrupting the midfield pressure was very good for me. And again, where we need to work on is a little bit more the final pass.
Gonzalo, obviously you didn't have Barco in this game, and he's been so influential for this team, just kind of buzzing around, being everywhere, and especially in the final third, being one of those guys who's really spearheading things. How would you kind of assess the way that the team played without him in the lineup?
Well, it was different. I mean, different in the sense that we lost a little bit of power, especially on the left side. Normally, it's one of our dominant sides. And today we were more dominant on the right side, which kind of maybe we expected. So it was good also to see that Araujo and Brooks were understanding better the movements and how to get in behind. But obviously with Barco back, we will have a bit more punch on the left side, and hopefully we have a more even, zones of influence in our attacking final third.
Coach, ¿qué te motivó a elegirte por el Cubo Torres o no por Eric López? Digo, el Cubo no lo hizo nada mal, pues, pero ¿cuál fue el motivo de tomar la opción por el Cubo Torres? ¿Y qué lectura le das al partido? Un buen primer tiempo y un segundo tiempo totalmente diferente.
Bueno, le daría cierto matiz a tu comentario. Primero te respondo claro la del Cubo. Creo que elegí al Cubo porque quería un 9 más de área, un 9 más que no fuera tan móvil en esa zona del campo, por lo mismo de que queríamos tener presencia dentro del área. Creo que por momentos lo hicimos. Hubo un par de jugadas, sobre todo en el primer tiempo, donde él se bota, toca, se abre el juego por el lado izquierdo, es el chance de Velo que pega en el poste, pero Cubo había entrado perfectamente en el segundo poste. Entonces quería un poco ocupar más esa zona del campo. Eric López es un 9 más móvil, es un 9 más con más movilidad, que se sale mucho más de su zona, y en este partido en particular no quería eso. Después lo del primer tiempo contra el segundo te daría cierto matiz, te diría que los primeros 10 minutos a mi entender no fueron tan buenos del equipo, pero después los últimos 35 nos asentamos en la cancha, y en el segundo tiempo creo que hasta antes de que saliera Santiago Sosa el equipo había sido mejor en la cancha, no habíamos dado prácticamente nada, habíamos de hecho generado ocasiones de gol, y yo esperaba que con la entrada de Joseph pudiéramos encontrarnos todavía con muchas más oportunidades de gol, y creo que cuando sale Santi el equipo pierde cierto balance, y ahí es en donde comenzamos a sufrir.
Behind Kubo, is there another 9 that can compete for that position when you want to rest Joseph? Is there someone else that perhaps had an opportunity tonight that didn't play?
Well, obviously Eric Lopez is kind of the choice there. Jackson Conway is another one. So we have those three options, I would say, in attack. But I would say also that Joseph, for me, is the starter in that position, and hopefully we can have him for the rest of the season fit. And his knee and all the little issues that he have had, we get rid of those, and he's on the field more often.
Jürgen Damm, ¿nos podrías dar una información que cómo sigue, cómo está, va a estar listo? ¿Cuál es la condición de Jürgen Damm?
Jürgen está listo, estuvo en la banca el día de hoy, estuvo en la banca el partido pasado. Simplemente no sentí que en el momento que estaba el juego lo fuera a necesitar. Es un jugador que tiene una velocidad espectacular, pero creía que el partido no estaba para ese punto, especialmente tácticamente. Él juega muy pegado a la banda y necesitaba defensivamente también estar bien parado. Pero obviamente a Jürgen lo tengo contemplado en otros escenarios dentro del partido. Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.